He is. Tommy with that fucking quick backhand. Yo, this shit. Who would have thought that one of the best scenes? Yeah. Don't scream in agony now. And Tommy's like, what? It's like, yo, who would have thought that one of the best sequences in the entire Friday the 13th franchise wouldn't even have Jason Voorhees in it? God damn, man. Yo, this movie's fucking insane, yo. Jelly Dude, you asked, you shall receive, man. Damn, this Friday 13th Part 5 is legit one of my personal favorites of the franchise, man. You know, I was just having I'm in a Jason group on Facebook, a Friday the 13th group on Facebook, and I was like, you know, I just made a whole post with a long caption the other day, and I was like, listen, let's keep it real. How many of us really thought that this was Jason when we first saw it? How many of us thought it was somebody else, but how many of us really thought it? And for me personally, you know, I kept it a beam with everybody like I always do. I'm like, yo, like, I thought it was, like, as a kid, I thought that this was Jason. Even with the weird mannerisms and the weird walk that Tom Morgott or whoever was playing, I think Dick Wayand was the dude's name. That was the paramedic, Roy Burns. Regardless of who it was, the weird mannerisms that he had in this movie, I still kind of let it slide. And I was like, yeah, this is Jason. It wasn't until the end of the movie where I was like, wow, this wasn't Jason. But even still, I couldn't take away all of the fun that I had with this movie prior. So it didn't ruin the movie for me. Yeah, it's a slap in the face, man. It's kind of like April Fool's Day. The 80s version of April Fool's Day. I'm not talking about that fucking shitty remake with Scout Taylor Compton. And shout out to Scout Taylor Compton, but I'm just like, yo, you deserved a lot better than that remake. And I'm not talking about like a Slaughter High with the sucker punch ending, man. But I was like, I still love this movie. You know, like, because it has, if somebody says that these are the best characters in the franchise, I'm not going to argue y'all down. I go back and forth between the characters in this movie. I love the characters in Part 4, for sure. And I love the characters in Part 6 also. That's my favorite Friday the 13th movie is Jason Lives. But I feel like this movie, this whole Motley Crue misfit aspect and this whole sleazy vibe of this movie is so fucking great, man. It's not Crystal Lake, but it's Pinehurst. And it really is a new beginning, man. Like, I think that they weren't lying to us, yo. You know, they weren't lying to us. The proof was in the pudding, and we just didn't see it. There's a new mask on the front cover, and everybody's like, what? Like, that's Jason's new mask or whatever? New beginning is a new mask? Like, there's, you know, instead of kill, ma, like, kill mommy, it's kill, ta. Like, kill Tommy. You know, like, they were insinuating that Tommy was the killer. Tommy is a red herring in this movie. You know, there were so many new elements introduced, all while keeping it in the same vein of a Friday the 13th movie. And I was just telling somebody online that this is the last movie that felt like one of the original Friday the 13th movies. Yeah, it separates itself by being a little sleazy and things like that. But 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, they all go together. Tonally, I feel like they all go together. They do. And this even went back as far as you know, just showing not even the killer, but the killer's hand and the weapon, or the weapon itself without the killer's hand. And that's a callback to the first movie. You know, and the first movie was what was it? Pamela Voorhees, her son got killed. She wanted to exact revenge. And Roy Burns, his son got killed. He wanted to exact revenge. Only Roy Burns, you were a piece of shit parent, bruh. You didn't give a fuck about your son. You abandoned your motherfucking son. I don't know what happened to the mother. Even Matt says it at one point. He's like, I don't know what the hell happened to the mother. She died. No, he says the mother died while giving birth. I don't know what the hell happened to the father. Took off somewhere. Kid got shuffled around from home to home until he came here. He was a good kid. And Matt, that was like Matt's fucking Oscar-worthy moment. And the sheriff's just like, yeah, I know, Matt. Like, let's carry on with the next scene and fuck all that emotional shit. Like, this ain't that type of movie. But this movie's great, man. It's got, like, I'm telling you, these characters, I've always said that these characters feel like an extension of the Return of the Living Dead characters. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Mark Venturini, recipe shout out to Mark Venturini, he played Vic in this movie, the one that kills Joey, and Miguel A. Nunez, who plays Demon, were both in Return of the Living Dead together. But this whole punk rock shit, like Violet and, Junior, to a certain extent, like, he seems like he could have been one of the characters, like illegitimate stepbrothers or something that was just reckless. But this movie, it never bothered me. I feel like, if we're talking Friday the 13th movies, I feel like Jason Goes to Hell bothered me more than this one did. Even though there's no Jason, there's flashbacks, or not flashbacks, but hallucinations of Jason in this movie. And that's cool. But Jason Goes to Hell frustrates me more because, it's like, which side of the false advertisement do you want to go? Do you want to go with, oh, this is Jason, but it's a copycat? Or, oh, this is Jason, but we blow him up in the beginning and he's just a fucking a gremlin going in people's mouths and shit. Like, what are we doing? But this one is, I give this movie a big pass. Now, if I had to give it something, I don't, like, right now, I don't know, man. I give it, I don't know, a 7? I can't give it as high as I did part 3. This is like a 7 out of 10. Maybe, and I did commentary for this too. Funny enough, it was an Intoxic commentary. But, I'm wondering what I gave it back then, but I'll give it a 7 now. Because it is not Jason. However, the characters make this thing tick. And I feel like the mystery of it, they went back to the mystery of the first movie. The first movie is the only movie that has, like, yo, who's doing this, man? Like, I wonder who's doing, like, but this one took it back to that element. And I can appreciate that. And they've got great characters, man. Great actors and actresses in here. Danny Steinman with that fucking zoom in that he uses every so often with the kills and, just certain shots in the movie. I love that zoom in, man. It's so good. Like, it's so good. The score is the score in this movie is really underrated. Really underrated. I listened to the score for this movie, like, by itself a lot. Like I'm not gonna say how often, but there are times where I'll be out and about and I'm just like, yeah, let me just turn on Friday the 13th New Beginning score. And Melanie Kinnaman, man, shout out to her for, getting out of her truck and walking with those boots. Those boots were made for walking that she's got on. And then she's got the wet t-shirt on. And we don't even need to talk about all that, people. But yeah, this movie, I feel like the MPAA really fucked this movie over because we could have had some really great death scenes. And, shout out, I think Martin Becker did the special effects for this movie. I want to say Martin Becker, did he do the special effects for, I want to say Jason Takes Manhattan. He did more than one Friday the 13th movie, but it's a shame that these special effects departments go through hell and high water to get these effects made for us and for the film, and then the MPAA is just like, nah, cut it down. We only need to see a sprinkle of blood. Fuck y'all for that, man. And fuck Robin for playing Jake in this moment. He's like, I want to make love to you. And she's just like, ha ha, you wish, motherfucker. She didn't say that, but it's just like, you might as well. She's terrible. But Jake should have read between the lines, man. There's a lot of, I'm telling you, I would have watched this movie if Roy Burns or Jason did not pop up at all. That's how much I love these characters. I really, truly do. So yeah, this was a good one, Jelly Dude. This was definitely a good one. If you got more Friday the 13th movies or whatever, man, let me know. Swing them this way. I'll review them.